today's the day. She's going to the sandblasters. We're towing her all the way down to AutoBlast, and she's gonna get blasted. We're gonna pick up the panels, the doors, the bonnet, guards, see how rusted out they are, and we'll be doing the old switcheroo. Give them the XA, and so we can blast that off. I wonder how much of it will be left after they're finished blasting it. That's the biggest concern. But I've just picked up the car trailer, and unfortunately, it's the exact time of day where the gym on this side, the kickboxing gym, and the weightlifting gym on this side, both have sessions running. So the car park is full. So it's gonna be very difficult to try and back this trailer in. But I'll give it a shot and see how we go. Alright, that was false alarm. Literally as I was saying that, all the gym members left. So, pretty easy. So now we're in, and we'll roll her on like it's got a winch. So I'm just gonna wind her up. Ideally, I'd want the rear of this thing to the front because it's got the diff in it, and that's the heaviest, I'm gonna say that's the heaviest part of the car at the moment, so I'd want that at the front, but in an empty shell, it's probably a difference of 50 to 100 kilos, so it doesn't even matter. So we'll wind her on, get her strapped down, and we'll be on our way. Right, she's on, she's strapped up. I've just got one strap at the front, one strap at the rear because it's just the shell. One thing I've always done with towing is you'll never accelerate as fast as you can stop. So I've always put two straps at the back, one strap at the front, but that's with full cars. But this is just a shell, so, oh hang on, I haven't finished yet. That's not going anywhere. Now we're done, now we can go. Right, so the XA's dropped off now, got the panels back. Let's check them out and see how bad, well, they're not that bad. So it makes me super hopeful for the rest of the car. So this is the passenger door. And what you can see, this was just all bogged. Ooh, baby. But not too concerned, because that's easy fix. As bad as it looks, it's literally just cut that section out and replace it. Not too bad. And here, doesn't matter, because I've got the whole lower door skin to replace anyways. The only thing is that section there, but nothing we can't handle. So we can see there that the repair section I have pretty much covers all of the rust that we found in the lower skin of the door. So that will sort that issue. Front guards aren't too bad. that one has obviously had some sort of prang, that was completely bogged over. You couldn't tell when the paint was on that was there. So that was just full of bog. But the arches themselves aren't too bad, and the token pathetic attempt at a rust repair where they've just tacked it into place with what looks to be a gasless MIG and then just bogged over that. Same there. But all in all, front guard's not too bad. The door's super doable. Driver's side door has got a little hole there, and actually I'm not even going to bother replacing the lower sill for the driver's side door because that's bang on. I'll just fill in that hole over there, and this also has a few little holes on the underside. Easy fix. So driver's side door, good to go. Passenger side door, not so much. A little bit more work on that one. All the brackets here too. So we got door hinges. These go on the rear where the spare tyre door is. So they're little filler panels. I thought I'd get blasted. Tailgate hinges, door bits, tailgate handle, bonnet, all the hinges. Had that done. Of course, these are rusty. I don't really care too much what that looks like because that'll just get wrapped a coat put all over it. But the bonnet, not too bad at all. There's actually no real rust on the bonnet. There was just a little prang at the front end here where they've bogged over. Not too concerned about that. The rest of it, I honestly thought these would be totally rusted out where the pins had been installed, but nothing there. And you can see there's still paint around the shaker hole, and that's because they didn't blast too closely to that hole because it was so unsupported, so they didn't want to warp the edges. And in saying that, the guys at AutoBlast in Myrie here in Perth, awesome job. You hear horror stories about blasting panels and getting them all warped. Like this bonnet, there's not much, there's nothing under there. The whole thing's been done really well. So yeah, now the fun part begins of essentially we'll repair the doors, we'll do the door repairs, and I'm going to replace those sections there that have been attempted to be repaired by the previous person who restored it. So we'll replace those whole lower sections and put some actual steel in there.
So on this panel, I was doing tacks every couple of centimeters and then cooling it down with the air gun to prevent the panel from warping and to prevent the patch panel from warping too much. If you just go through and you weld from one end to another and put too much heat into it, it just warps the hell out of the panel, and it is just an absolute nightmare once you start to put paint and filler on. So doing a tack every couple of centimeters and then making sure everything was the same size and was butting up perfectly. That's what I'm doing here, is just making sure it butts up perfectly, and then completing the tacks and just going through and adding a tack as I go along. And then here, just adding a tack every couple of tacks, cool the panel down, do a couple of tacks, cool the panel down, and just keep on going until all the tacks basically end up meeting.
And today we're doing the door. Well, I had to get a coffee before tackling this thing. This is just gonna be... But in theory, it's pretty easy. I mean, that just pretty much lays across there and I weld that on, don't I? Just like that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not sure if this is how you put these panels on, but I'm taking a wild guess. There is a lip that you can see running across the top of this sill here. Now, I'm going to use that lip as a back of the weld. So I can have this section here to back onto when I weld across. Because I feel like I get the right settings for the welder. I could be way out, but my welds are all right on the settings that I have, but every now and then they blow through a bit. I just want to mitigate the risk of blowing through on a panel such as the door. But there ain't nothing to it but to do it, so let's get right into it.
So on the door, just marking out where the lower skin ends and where I'm going to be making my cuts. And then in this section, I've made out of a piece of thin MDF basically what the contour of the door is, so that when the new one goes on, I can match that up.
Alright, so I spent a while looking at this, thinking how am I going to attack it. What I've got marked out there are the sections that I'm going to do. So, I don't know, I've never done corner section like this before. I don't have an English wheel or a planishing hammer or any of that cool stuff, so I'm very limited in what sections I can do and how big those sections are. So I can't really form metal. I'm going to have to do it piece by piece. So we'll see how this turns out. If it turns out absolutely horrible, you won't be seeing this in the episode. I'll probably cut to a point where I say, so today we're building the engine or something like that. Hey guys, we're in the engine building room this morning. So today we're going to be building the engine. I've got all these parts here and I've been looking for an excuse to come in here and build the engine. At that, I've run out of gas right as I was coming around the bend here. So far so good. I think that's it's going quite well. I'm gonna call it there. I'll be back tomorrow, fresh bottle of gas, and finish it off.
And this is the part where I tell the headphone users to turn your volume down.
Fucking hell! The gas line in the welder just erupted. Massive hole. And of course, to get to the gas line in the welder, you've got to take some of this out. And I'm not touching that. I'm not touching any of that stuff. I like to think of myself as handy, but when it comes to electronics like this, like microwaves and stuff like welders that hold insane amounts of electricity and capacitors, I'm not touching it because it's probably still got a whole heap of electricity in there, and I don't want to get in there and start touching things and drill myself. So, about where I got to. I pretty much made it precisely fit, and I was literally about to weld it in when the welder blew up, but that's where it's at. So despite my best attempt at finishing this door today, I don't think that's going to happen. But still pretty happy with how it's going so far. So I just got to grind those back. Actually, hold that thought. There we are. Much better. So I've just cleaned that up and it's looking pretty good. It would look a lot better if I got to where I want it to be, but that's okay for now, I guess. So that's it. I'm just gonna go home. I'm gonna edit this, get this together and just get it out. Rather than just trying to fit something else into this to make up for that, I'm just gonna get it out there, just update you guys on the situation. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe so I can afford to replace the welder. Hopefully we can get this all finished up. I should have the car back from the sandblasters next episode, so that'll be pretty cool. Which means I've got to get started on the panel repairs for that as well.